They said Gray paved the way, changed the rain, released the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter day, dope a rap, tight as sets, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, journey.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? It's OG Boricua Don Dada. I'm here with Mr. MLW Confusion, Mr. Muffins Martinez, who is looking down at his phone. I don't know why, but listen, gentlemen.
Writing notes.
You ain't writing no notes.
I got the phone.
It's one
I'm writing notes.
So, listen. So, Mr. Snitsky, I'm not going to say Gene because I think it's just Snitsky and MLW. We've seen him in the Battle Riot. He looked really good, paused, did his thing, dominated, and now we see him coming back for July 8th, right? So I'm really excited because in the wrestling era of now, there's a shortage of, like, let's just say the strong style big dudes, because there's a lot of high flyers nowadays. And he feels like a vintage, I'm going to beat you up, throw you around kind of guy. He's always kind of had that aggressive, angry, what was it? It's not my fault or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this. Gentlemen, talk to me about Snitsky so we can get up out of here.
You know, it's funny because he used to be, Uncle Vince WWE for a long time. Then he left there, wound up showing up at TNA, being one of Dizzy Carter's, your homegirl's goons there. And in one episode, they say he got fired with Ezekiel Jackson, and no one's seen him ever since. Till the Battle Riot. So it's been years since I've seen Snitsky, and he still looks like the menacing 6'8", 6'9" monster there that you do not want to cross in a dark alley with a long ass beard, which is longer now. But I'm interested to see where they're gonna go with him. Like if it's gonna be like a one-time thing for the pay-per-view or for the actual taping, or will he be coming more often regular in MLW? So it'd be kind of cool if he does return back on some kind of monthly basis thing, and we get to see him there. Well,
it definitely wasn't his fault that we liked him and wanted to see more of him in MLW.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. When he come back at Battle Riot, I did not have that on my bingo card at all. And like I'd known it was still a big dude. Mostly because he became one of those "where are they now" dudes with the beard. Evidently, he either directly owns. It's getting hazy. Either owns a facial hair product company, or he's a major stakeholder in it. And so that's one of the reasons he's got the giant Viking beard going on. So I'm just hoping this leads to some sort of cross-branding sponsorship, that it's sponsored by his beard company. But on a more serious wrestling related note, yeah, I didn't have this on my bingo card at all. He looked, he didn't look like he lost anything at Battle Riot. And wrestling in general is lacking true hosses. There are just not a lot of guys that are big, can drop you on your head, and that's just what they do. They come in, wreck you, and leave. A lot of the bigger guys nowadays want to take to the air for a good shock spot of look at this, I can do a suicide dive. Look at this, I can do this one random high spot just to show I can do it. And Snitsky isn't like that. Maybe he'll throw something out there in a match. I don't know, maybe. But at least in his mainstream wrestling career, he definitely was not like that. Granted, again, he was in Uncle Vince's playground, which probably prevented him from doing some of the stuff that would probably make him otherwise more popular elsewhere. But yeah, I'm as I said, so otherwise, I am down for it. I love hoss fights. I've thrown it out there on Confusion. Any chance I get, I just like two big guys just slapping the shit out of each other. And so I am down for it. And MLW really with Cruel or Mads Kruger leaving, there really isn't that giant of a man to do it. Mr. Thomas is good sized, but it turns he's only good sized when he's with the MLW roster. He's don't get me wrong, he is broad. He is a legit big dude, but I don't think he's much taller than I am. And so when you put him in there against someone like a Mads Kruger, even Mr. Thomas is getting dwarfed because Mads Kruger's at least 6'10" ish, if not actually 7 feet tall. And MLW is just lacking big guys who can wreck you. Like they're all little guys who can wreck you right now. But as for him staying around, just to bookend it, and for him staying around, like personally, like I don't see it happening. But I think this is just kind of like, we'll call it Philly specific. Like anytime they may be in Philly, like he may do it, because I think he is based out of Pennsylvania. But don't hold me to that. That's just could be me like vaguely remembering stuff, or just making things up because I happen to be a wrestling personality on the internet. One of the two.
Well, hopefully, if he comes in like they did today and they announced it, hopefully, they could do this on a weekly basis, like 2 times a week. Give us someone we haven't seen in a while. Oh, a schedule to appear on July 8th is going to be so and so. Give us some females that we haven't seen yet, or we haven't seen in a long time, and start putting some names out there to get us excited. Snitsky got me excited when I saw the picture. I was, oh, okay, whoa, okay, cool. But let's get some other people there and let the excitement, start. It gave me some female wrestlers that I can start getting excited about. Like, okay, here we go. Get excited about the whole show.
And I think we'll get there. I mean, it's still relatively early-ish in terms of the build, and in the meanwhile, they still have to hype up the return of Fusion this coming Thursday. As well, or whenever this is going to be dropping, it's going to this week's Thursday at the time of recording. So they do have some landmarks in between to plug before they really hammer home the card for Never Say Never. But if nothing else, like until then, we have we can still salivate at the main event of Alex Kane taking on our boy Alexander Hammerstone, which we've covered in detail with our last video.
I just want to know exactly if they're gonna break this Mexican tapings into like 2-3 episodes, or just like a one-time thing, because then you still have the 2 tapings from April, from the 6th and the 8th, that you got to bring in before the pay-per-view in July. So you got 5 Thursdays in June, and 1 Thursday before the pay-per-view. So that's 6 weeks after today. So is this Thursday going to be just like 1 episode, or is they going to make it into 2 episodes? And then how they're going to fit everything else in 6 weeks before the July 8th show. So that's my thinking right now, how they're going to do that.
And that's a really good question, because the return of Fusion also bookends the return of the Super Series, which has been traditionally a multi-episode story. Well, maybe not a full-on story arc, but a full-on, month-long, we'll call it, competition, at least in terms of television product. So yeah, I'm kind of curious as to how that's going to occur, because I honestly don't see that running the entire gamut between, even until the next live event.
You can't, because you still have to build, Kane against Hammerstone in the next couple of weeks too. So, we're about to hit June already.
They could have shot backstage stuff for that too. They could have shot.
Oh yeah, exactly, yes. But you still got. It can't be no 1 week build up either. Don't wait till the last weekend of July, the Thursday, first week in July, Thursday. Oh, now we're gonna do the build up for Saturday's show. I'm gonna be mad if that happens like that. Oh, come on, man.
Which is something they could have been doing during the break too. In this age of cell phones, I could cut a wrestling promo right now, and not that anyone would want to hear it. But the thing is, though, you can cut promos in your closet, you can cut promos in your bathroom, you can hype up like these things. Like MLW, while we were on break, could have like thrown out some Alex Kane promos of how he's ready for Hammer, and they really they've just shown highlights of Kane.
We've seen Chef, and we've seen Chef do a couple of promos and even some shows from his closet, hiding from his wife and the kids.
Huh?
Couple of times, I remember when you done some shows from the closet, hiding from your wife and kids. So you done shows from the closet.
Yeah, like my son, he was in high school. Well, he's in college now. One of his projects for school, they said, do something, start something, and we won it. So he was like, yo, we go to Impact every day. Let's just do a podcast. So with my wife being busy, I had this huge walk-in closet. So I was like, you know what? We'll just grab up. We'll put the computer right there. We'll just shoot it in the closet and get it done. But it's real easy to, like you said, literally, you could put your phone, right? Or get one of these little stupid hand things, prop your phone in it, and just record something. And Alex Kane can do that anywhere. It's like Rob said, the fact that MLW goes into this break and has no content, don't even post old matches or anything, makes no sense. And I know we've all talked about it. I've listened to Rob talk about it, and I've really enjoyed it. But like, you just sit back and you go, okay, right? Like, this is a huge deal because this is also, and I know we talked about it, I don't want to overtalk it. It's the first live pay-per-view in a while. Can we get a real build-up? Because this is important for the company. You know what I mean? This is not just a whatever. And that the pay-per-view has to have another big match too, right? Like, yeah. I don't care if it's the women's championship or tag teams, but it can't just, it has to be a build-up with the live.
This show here has to have all titles on the line.
The live pay-per-view?
Yes. Oh, you have to have every title on the line. You have to.
Rob, do you agree with that? I think that's excessive.
Oh, you have to.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with it because, one, this is the first live pay-per-view MLW's done since pre-pandemic, if I'm not mistaken. And two, I mean, MLW doesn't have that many titles, really. You know, it's not like the WWE that has 13 titles, and so, you know, you could fill up 2 pay-per-views with just title matches. You know, MLW has, and this is discounting like the Opera Cup and things that they don't cover, but like what there's two men's titles, the featherweight tag team,
national,
well, three,
and the middleweight. So we're 5.
Heavyweight, open, middleweight, the women's, and the tag team. So there's 5 titles, and not including the Opera Cup. So
but
you got 5 titles. Those titles got to be on the line. Every other match, there's got to be a title match.
Well, how many matches do you think is going to be on the pay-per-view?
Well, I mean, I'm guessing 3 hours pay-per-view. You're going to have 7, 8 matches. Easy. Yeah, from 8 to 11. 8 to 11 is a pay-per-view. Every pay-per-view goes from 8 to like 10:45.
I was thinking 2 hours tops.
God, no. Dude, what the wrestling you watching?
MLW shows are roughly 45 minutes.
Yes, but this is the pay-per-view show. They have to go all out. Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, AEW, there's 3-hour pay-per-views. They're 8 to 10:45. You have to do the same thing.
So now, I don't remember how. I haven't seen Impact in a while, so I don't know how their tapings work. I know how they worked before, but you said they're going to have an hour worth of tapings, right? So like 7 to 8.
Yeah, from 7 to 8, the fusion taping,
and then the next day is going to be tapings as well.
The same night.
So the live is going to be 3 hours?
It has to. Dude, Saturday, 7 to 8.
What time are people leaving? 1 in the
7
morning?
to 8. 7 to 8 is the fusion. 8 to 10:45 to 11 is the pay-per-view. I was there the first year. The first couple of tapes, we were leaving at midnight. And then they come back saying, "Whoa, that's too much." And then they started doing it at 11, where people will say, "See, now this is better." You first pay-per-view since pre-pandemic, like Rob just said, you have to go all out. It has to be 3 hours, 10 to 10:45.
Okay, so let's just say that it works like that. Where's the rest of their content for their tapings?
Fusion. That's what I'm saying. You have to come with something else. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to, say the following week or 2 weeks from now we're gonna do another taping somewhere else.
Okay.
That's the question. How are they gonna do that? How are they gonna do something else afterwards if they don't have anything after the pay-per-view? So unless they announce something like the following week or 2 weeks after that. Your guess is as good as mine, brother.
Yeah, and that's the $500 question, and I've referenced it before too. Is that because at least previously, that's how MLW got its television content, was these big events, and then they cut and pasted them together in a coherent TV show. With this airing of these pay-per-views happening now, I don't want to say they can't do it, but it becomes into slightly poorer taste, I think, to do it. Especially especially when it comes to continuity concerns of being there live versus like someone like me who can't attend it live. Like, maybe I'll spring for the Fight Plus, but then again, like, why would? And then I will say as a fan, like, why would I want to watch Fusion if I know it's all going to be the premium live event that I saw, the pay-per-view I watched? Like, the whys of that, and I definitely feel like there's probably something in the works about this. Like, right now they're and right now they could be just biding time until they get that announcement, because we know Court likes to kind of like sit on things and then surprise, and the surprise can be of varying degrees of awesome. And really, like in
a couple of weeks they'll say, oh, by the way, we just added another day for Sunday show, and then you got your tickets right there, or a week after. Like Rob will say,
I think Rob has a different rabbit coming out of his hat.
I mean, it's one of those, like, the thing is like, I'm speculating. Like, I have no evidence one way or another because I'm not a good insider. But like, I'm just saying this, as a fan, like, unless you've got something else brewing, like, I feel that the old method of chopping up the live event into your TV product is going to leave a bad taste in a lot of folks' mouth. And like, yes, I could, in the olden days when pay-per-views cost $40 or $50, I guess they still cost that now, but most wrestling has shied away from the true pay-per-view concept and has moved on to like Fight or Fight Plus, and has allowed the pay-per-view prices to go down significantly, or the other streaming services where you can get anything you want for anywhere from $5 to $10 a month. And that's how their Fight Plus is working as well. Like, what was it, $7.99 is the price point on that? I don't know. I actually don't have Fight Plus. So
you can't compete with Uncle Vince or Cousin Tony right now. Those guys are pay-per-views still, but they use BR Sports or WWE uses Peacock for $10. You get to see the pay-per-view every month. People don't want to get Peacock, so they want to pay the damn pay-per-view fee. That's crazy right there. But N.W.A, MLW, they use Fight TV or something like that for, like you said, $20 per pay-per-view. Or now with MLW doing the $7.95 now, and we still, like you said, we still don't know what type of plan is being laid out for this type of pay-per-views. Is it going to be a monthly thing? It's going to be once every 3 months,
and it wouldn't surprise me. Again, like, we're looking, especially with the return of Fusion this coming week. I imagine there's going to be some surprises and special announcements to be had either at during the show itself or immediately before or after, because they like to announce stuff like that day. Obviously, you announce stuff during the show itself. And then what I have found usually is they like to drop stuff Friday morning about the time my podcast drops. And then I get angry because I didn't cover it. My news is now like a week old. Not that I drop stuff every day, but that's something to do. Is like I'm just waking up promoting my podcast, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, here's this really big signing happening. Well, guess I'm not going to talk about it because it's already out there, and I'm not editing a podcast. Yeah. I'm not editing a podcast that's already dropped just to throw this in.
So I think we nailed everything. We have some concerns and excited about what could possibly be what happens with July 8th. We do like the Snitsky move. Yes. I know both of you guys are on board to have every belt on the line, which is it's a lot.
Dude, you have to.
It is a lot, but like, again, if we're trying to make things a big deal, I mean, this is one of the ways if you're not going to bring in, a big star or going to guarantee or bring me on paper a 5-star match, the next best way to do it is by big title fights.
Yeah.
My worry
has
with
to be
this,
done.
No, and I agree with you guys, and I'll take you out with this because I like what you're saying, right? But we don't know if there's any real hype coming into the main event, which is huge, especially for someone like Alex Kane, who's never been in that position. Hammerstone's been the guy, or if not, like I said, Hammerstone fought 2, they're 1-1. Kane, this is his first go at this, and he's killing it. The crowd loves him. You need that. You want, not need. Well, they need it. We want it. For this to be a big field thing, you got to promote this. You got to make it feel big. But if you have all 5 belts on the line, that means you got to be promoting a tag team belt. You got to do this the right way. You can't just say, yeah, we're going to defend all 5 belts and enjoy. Nah, I want this to feel like a big pay-per-view then. 5 belts. I need all 5 to be marketed right.
Well, but you can still market it right and have all the belts on the line. Obviously, you should take more time and effort to promote the World Heavyweight Championship as being the top belt. But it's not uncommon for like even in MMA to have like every title belt, or at least not every title belt, 'cause there's so many divisions anymore. But it's not uncommon to have 3 belts on a 6-card fight either. So it is a lot, and I will concede that it is a lot. But again, depending on where things are going, and again, we got 5 or 6 weeks to speculate on this with how the build's going to be.
Are you a big MMA fan?
I waffle. That's why I like that's why I like pro wrestling, because at least that way it's not it's scripted in a way to not be boring. Whereas MMA can just.
The reason why I was going to ask you is because when you have these 3 fights, especially like I don't know if you watch PFL or if you watch UFC, right? With UFC, their media, whatever you want to call them, like when they sit there and they're talking crazy, it's promotional hype the whole time. And these guys are talking wild. The girls are talking wild. So every time that these guys, even without belts, they feel like big fights because it's so intense. MLW, for being a sports league, get involved with that. It's supposed to be a sports league. It's not even supposed to be wrestling. It's a sports league. Start having these things. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying this corny shit Tony Khan does, because that shit is it's not. Tony Khan's trying to do it the right way, and it's wrong because you never really see the side by side. You don't see the belt there. It's like the winner comes out and he sits there and talks with the winner, and it is what it is. No. I want these two to talk about how big of a fight this is. Didn't he just do that with Hammerstone and Fatu when they were sitting at the tables and
somewhat.
Yeah, they tried.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is this though. Tony Khan did it after the matches, and then after a couple of pay-per-views that they were doing it, Uncle Vince started doing it before the matches, like you said, like a pre-thing, and then also a thing. But now, if you want MLW to do it, now you're copying everybody else doing the same thing now.
But none of them are doing it the right way.
Yeah, but then it kind of gets boring when you see now everybody doing the same thing, a pre-one and after one. Because now everybody's copying each other. Well, because Tony did it first, and then Uncle Vince did it, and now Kurt Bauer doing the same thing, or N.W.A doing the same thing. So you can't do the same thing because it's gonna get boring. It's gonna get stale because now everybody's doing it now.
It works perfect for MLW because it's content filler, right? Like the other ones don't really need. They got so many wrestlers, so much time. WWE has 9,000 shows. AEW has 9,000 shows. MLW is once a week for like an hour. This is content filler. Yeah. And if you do this to fans before a show.
Yeah. And I was going to say, this is very important now that you have to build a championship match between Hammerstone and Kane. For the simple reason is Hammerstone hasn't lost in, I want to say, going in 5 years.
Oh, 4 years.
Okay, this guy won the tournament for the open weight or middleweight title, won that, put the title up against the line against Jacob Fatu, won the title, and he's still the champion. So it's been like 4 years since this guy hasn't been beaten for any of the titles. So you definitely have to build this up and they have to bring that up and hit the thing. I haven't lost in 4 years, blah, blah, blah. Kane has to look like that undisputable underdog. I got the Bomaye club next to me. It's for the people. They're behind me, and start building that up now, man. They have to build it up now.
Muffins, and I know I said I'll take you out, but I'll take you out literally with this one.
Take me out, man. Take me out to the ball game.
Yeah, hold on. If you sat back and you did this media thing with Alex Kane and a live audience, and Alex Kane said the Bomaye is for the people, and they start chanting Bomaye, do you know how big that feels, right? Like, this is what I'm saying. It's so easy to involve the fans who already eat this shit up to be involved with it. Where with the other ones, it's kind of just I don't know who the
it's all sap.
Yeah. Like the fake people who are sitting around who are wrestling, social media people. You're having real fans involved, and they're going to go crazy, right? So do it, and it makes it better than everyone else.
Heck, make it a VIP thing, and then make a couple extra bucks off of it too. Open it up to 50 fan, 25.
They did that in Puerto Rico last month for Backlash. With they had on the side Bad Bunny on one side and Chris on the other side. Dude, that thing was full of fans out there. That Puerto Rican was just going crazy out there, and like you said, they were paying to be there. It built it up. It built more people buying the pay-per-view that couldn't go into the show. So it did its job, like you said. If you do the same thing with Alex Kane, and he gets the fans on his side, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but Rob's idea of the VIP thing is perfect, because if you're selling these tickets as VIP gets you in early and whatever else, plus you could be part of the matchup, whatever they're gonna call it. Cheer your favorite guy on.
Maybe even get lucky and ask a question.
You see, somebody please, Jorge, when we get this, I'll figure out how to take this off and we'll start tweeting it to Court Bauer. Court, stop playing with these birds that you play with. Start listening to the three of us, because we kick a lot. Actually, Rob talks way better than we do. We just piggybacked on his idea.
Yeah.
But for real, I mean, I think that's the perfect way we could go out with that, because that would be fire.
Take us out, Rob.
All right. Thank everyone for watching us rattle on. You can catch our links below. That's scrolling across the bottom of the side. So be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share it with your friends, family, or if you hate us, sick us on your enemies. It's all cool. A view is a view. All attention is positive attention. You can follow us on the social medias elsewhere. Both Bodie and myself have our Twitter handles up here, and I had to go dig Muffins' out because he wouldn't put it up there, and it turns out it's actually quite simple. It's the same as the YouTube channel, Urban Wrestling N.W. So I don't know why I couldn't figure that out for the last video. And in the meanwhile, semi-separate from this, you can check out my podcast, MLW Confusion, on Spotify. It's also wherever else you happen to get your podcasts. We mostly talk MLW, but when they're on hiatus, we do something, whatever else. Last week, I got to interview Jake Christ, so that was freaking awesome. And then also a cheap plug, because I forget to plug it too. Those of you in the Davenport, Iowa area, MLW Confusion is sponsoring Battle Lines from SCW Pro. $10. It's the first outdoor show of the season. MLW Confusion sponsoring their entire summer series. So if you're local, check that out too.
Man, y'all better check that out. Stop playing with them. Take us out, Jorge. Come on, man. Hit that button.